should is the audio output is very, very low. But it's the original 746. Along with it, I also got a 746 Pro. But the Pro really has some issues. Very, very low receive. The display is bad. That's a fairly easy fix. And very, very low wattage. Doesn't hardly put out anything. So I thought, well, let's try the 746, the real one, and there it is. Here I am.
Yeah, it sounds good. I don't know what the difference is between the Pro and the non-Pro. I think maybe the actual non-Pro has regular filters in it, and this one doesn't.
Well, with the non-Pro, you have to buy the filters and put them in. It doesn't come with them. Where the Pro, it does come with them. And there's a few other little things like the compression you can adjust from the front of the radio instead of going to the back of the radio. But, you know, for 2-meter sideband, I've been a really 2-meter sideband enthusiast for many, many years. I got away from it about 5 years ago when I moved here to Pine, and I just put up a 17-element M squared at 70 feet. 60 feet. And anxious to get back on the band, and I was just listening, just kind of going around the band to see what there was anything out there, and there you were. My name's Jim, KE6KNY.
Well, nice to meet you, Jim. My name is Bram, Bravo Romeo Alpha Mike, Kilo Golf 7, Hotel Victor Romeo. Yeah, I've been into the 2-meter sideband for a while, and I'm friends with Art, who does the Sidewinders on 2. He used to live down the road from me. We used to have in this area, the Yavapai Amateur Radio Club used to do a 2-meter sideband net, and then they dropped the ball on that, and then I tried to do it for a while. And I used to sit out here with a TS2000 and a 160 watt brick, and I've got an M squared 4-element, which isn't real great, but it's better than nothing. And I've talked from here to the guy down in Tucson, not Al, but a different guy, like K7 IME or EMI or something like that. One of those guys, I'm sure you probably know who it is. And I've had people pick me up in Mesa and stuff like that, but I got tired of trying to do it, so and then I got rid of the TS2000 because, as you know, it's not really a great radio. I got tired of dealing with the filters. And so then I was using a 706 for quite a while, and then I got out of everything, and I found a deal on this radio. I bought actually this and a 756 Pro for $700, and they had problems, but I got them going. So anyway, that's the story over here.
Since the radio's had problems, and I'm really just kind of getting back on the air here since I moved to Pine almost 5 years ago from Southern California. I'm extremely conservative, so don't jump down my throat. Is there anybody in the valley or in the area that does work on radios at all?
Not that I know of. As far as you will hear them talk about a guy named Doug May, but I wouldn't recommend that you deal with him unless you just like absolutely have no choice. He seems to be like the kind of guy that just wants to work on easy stuff, and I had a friend who's silent key now, but he had a really nice HT and the SMA broke off of it, and the guy's response was, I'll just throw it away and buy another radio. And I also dealt with a Kenwood TS450 that the guy charged somebody to fix and couldn't fix, and I as a novice repairman was able to fix it and diagnose the obvious leaking capacitors on it. So I don't recommend him, and he's the only guy that I ever hear them talk about. And I don't know anybody else that's really good at working on radios. So I'm from Washington State, so I know people back there that used to work at ICOM, and those guys are really quite good, but we don't seem to kind of have those kind of people here.
Well, the only person I know is John Clore, and he's in Orange County in California, so you've got a little shipping charge to get it to him. But he's a first-class guy, and he loves the icons. I might give him a call. I got to find his phone number somewhere on the 746 Pro, just to get an idea of what might be going on, because the transmit, I don't really care about HF on it, just 2 meters. The transmit is almost nothing. The receive is way, way low, and the digital display, is almost to the point where you can't read it, which isn't a real big deal. There's a little labor to take it apart and change the components, but I'm not really good at these microscopic components, changing them out. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll just sell it for parts and get this 746. It seems to be running okay here.
Yeah, I don't know. We used to use Scott Malcolm too in like Toledo, Washington, and he basically doesn't work on radios anymore, from what I understand. But yeah, I have a friend, Kevin, that used to work at ICOM, and he actually lost his job because they were all taking radios out of the dumpster, and other people were also, and they all tried to get each other in trouble, and yeah, it just became a really ugly deal. Because I guess, they were all selling radios on eBay that they were getting for free out of the dumpster that supposedly they weren't supposed to.
Wow, what a deal. Well, I'm actually from Southern California, and I ran the Bozo net in Southern California every Wednesday night for 3 years over there. Then I moved over here, and I just couldn't quite get back into 2-meter sideband, and I wanted a new 7610, so I sold the 9100. I sold the 9100 I had, and then I had an old Commander 2 2-meter amplifier that they say they do a kilowatt, but none of them ever do. They only do about 700 or 800. So I sold those two pieces, and that gave me a little bit of extra change, and I bought this new 7610. And then I'm thinking, what can I really do on 2-meter sideband? I still had my big antenna, the M² 17 element, which is 33 feet long. I brought my tower with me. I got the tower up, and I've got the M² 17 element on top of the tower at 60 feet, and then my tri-bander below that. And I've done, HF here is incredible. I mean, it is so quiet here compared to Southern California that HF has been a lot of fun. But still, 2-meter sideband is in my roots. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm mostly actually on HF. So there's a group of us, one of the other guys that you didn't hear, we're on 3853 from like about 7 p.m. to like sometimes late. But I used to get on with another group on 3913, but there's just too much overcrowding from back east with the other guys that are in the group, so I don't really get on there very much. But yeah, we're mostly on HF, and here it used to be pretty active, and now it's absolutely dead because these people are more concerned about going to the club meetings than doing their nets or participating in the nets. So it's really kind of, I'm a little bitter about it, I guess you might say. I don't really have anything nice to say about the Yavapai Amateur Radio Club, to be honest with you. The people, get positions in the club and then they shirk all their duties because I don't know, maybe power, money, or something, or some kind of control, or mental health issues. I don't know what it is. But literally, and then, then they found out that I was trying to do their net for them, and but I did it every day. I didn't do it once a week. And then so none of the locals wanted to participate in it because I had badmouthed the club. So I couldn't really round up any people to do it, so I started doing very long distance stuff, and I'd get emails and stuff from guys in Mesa and stuff that could hear me, but due to the horizontal and vertical, I couldn't hear them or whatever. So I gave it a go for a while, but here they just they they don't want to do it anymore. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, there's Gene over there in Chino Valley. He's on the air every Monday night. Another friend of mine over in Payson talks to Gene quite often. And I didn't have my antennas or anything up, just running a vertical. And he could hear me. Just a couple of weeks ago, we kind of talked back and forth briefly. But now I'm ready to go the whole Google. But if you're on 4852 or 3 or wherever it is, then you should know Clark and Dave Kelly.
I was just over at Dave Kelly's house. I picked up about, a couple hundred magazines from him. We were all at the Ham Fest Saturday. I went down there and I was with Clark over there, and I picked up another 101. And Clark bought a 10-Tech Omni 6.
Well, I was at Superstition on Saturday myself. I actually know Clark from when I was in Southern California. A very good friend. Actually, my Elmer has done radio work for him. And I had family in the Gilbert area, Gilbert Chandler area, but I was living in California, and I shuffled stuff back and forth a few times more. But unfortunately, my buddy in California, which is an absolute incredible technician, his eyesight is getting a little poor, plus he's getting up in years. So I don't want to burden Ted with any of these things I got laying around. If I called him, he'd say, ship it to me, I'll fix it for you. And he probably wouldn't charge me anything. I mean, we're that tight that, when your eyesight's going and you're dealing with these new radios with these microscopic parts, it's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, you might even be able to get Clark to work on some of the stuff. I don't know. He's pretty stubborn and good about fixing stuff sometimes.
Well, I'm back on the air here on 2-meter sideband and just having a good time. I do have some antennas for sale. I've got a Cushcraft 5-element 6-meter beam. I've got a Cushcraft B13 2-meter beam at 12 elements and it's ribbon, and an M squared, I think it's 18 element 70 centimeter. And I have to get the 1.2 gig antenna out of the box to tell you what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to adjust the radio to see. I moved it up like 5 hertz, but I'm trying to see where this thing needs to be at. I need to hook up my SDR play and just kind of check it, because I'm sure it's probably off.
I talked to a couple guys. I talked to Gene, and I talked to Jack. They both live over there at Chino Valley. My buddy Terry that was with me said he hooked up with Dave Kelly, but I didn't. I've only met Dave once, talked to him on the radio a few times. I haven't hooked up with Clark for, oh my goodness, when I first moved in here, I threw up the wire and was on 75 a few times and talked to Clark, but that was almost 5 years ago now. But I've got the shack set up, the tower up, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, we'll be on there tonight. We're on there every night. And there's another guy named Terry that's not too far from where you're at. He's in, oh geez. Actually, I guess it's probably not that close. Oh man, I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me here in a minute, but he's got a house kind of where Dave's other house is. Why can I not think of it? So it's sort of towards Payson, but anyway, he's on there every night, and the guy I was talking to is on there every night. There's a bunch of us. Clark isn't on every night, but usually is.
You're talking about Terry that lives up there in Happy Jack. I've talked to him a few times. Actually, in California, where we were from in California and where he was from wasn't very far apart, so we had a lot in common. But I haven't talked to him in several years now. I put up a wire, then took the wire down. My wife had some medical problems, and I took my feet on getting the tower up. Finally got the tower up going, and just gonna have a good time. Dave Kelly lives in Bonita. His other house is in Bonita Creek, and I was up there one time with another friend of mine. And but where the other Terry is, he's up there by Happy Jack. You might know Terry K6TDI. He's out of Payson, and he's an old-time friend of mine from California, and he does 2-meter sidebands, really his passion.
Yeah, Happy Jack, that's what it was. I think I know the other guy also. I'm not really sure though. And then there's a whole bunch of other guys down in Phoenix too that pop in from time to time. And then there's a guy, Tom, that works on 101s and uses a 5000 mostly down in Nevada somewhere, or not down in up in Nevada. There's just a ton of people that pop in on that frequency all the time.
Well, does this radio sound okay? I'm wearing a microphone that I bought at Superstition on Saturday.
Yeah, it sounds fine. What microphone is it? Like an SM20 or something?
No, I stepped up on this thing. It's an SM50, and I want a decent mic for this radio. And I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I laughed, and I came back, looked at it, laughed, came back. The guy wouldn't budge a penny on it, but I went ahead and stepped up and bought it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. It was weird. I didn't really see a lot of great stuff there. I bought a $5 oscilloscope from some guy, a 400 megahertz one at that, and it powered up when he showed it to me, and then it did something weird, and then that was why he sold it for $5. But he had a table full of FT1000s that I was drooling over.
I walked that whole thing. My wife was with me. We walked the whole thing twice. And she bought a few little trinkets, like a little sign that goes on the door that says Santa Claus and a couple other things. But the only thing I really bought was this microphone. And the thing looks like it's brand new. They sell for $299 new. The guy wanted 150 for it. Online, used, they're like $185, $190. And since this was in front of me, I could see it. No sales tax, no shipping. I went ahead and bought it, and I'm glad it sounds okay. This is an absolute outstanding microphone.
Yeah, it sounds just fine. It'd be interesting to hear it on HF to see how it sounds on there, but I imagine it's going to be pretty close to the same.
Well, on HF, I'm running an Electro Voice RE320 on HF, and I'm running the ICOM 7610, which is, I've had a lot of Yaesus. I've got a Yaesu FT2000 sitting in the corner that I was pissed off at, and I refuse to fix it. I'll sell it for parts to somebody if they want it. I had it into the shop. I had it in the Yaesu 3 times, and I just got tired of it. The 7610 will run circles around it.
What's wrong with the 2000?
Well, first of all, the 2000 has all the widgets and gadgets to go with it, including the DMU, the Digital Management Unit. The display died on it, and it's probably not a bad fix because you should be able to take the cover off and see which part is smoking.
Interesting. Yeah. I've always kind of wanted one of those. I like the 1000 MPs and I actually really like the 1000Ds, but I am not paying the kind of money they want for a 1000D when you know that it's not going to work right.
Well, this is actually the FT2000D. So it's got the external power supply that's 12 volts and 50 volts. And the DMU supports a monitor and has lots and lots and lots of functions. But like I said, I had it to Yaesu 3 different times. They replaced the finals in it. They replaced the board in the front end. Then they did something else to it. But that's since I've lived here. I've only been here like 5 years. And I'm just not going to spend any more money on it. I'm asking $500 for this thing. And the DMU has got to be worth at least $300 or so. And if you have to find a power supply for one of those, since it's a dual voltage power supply, you're probably looking at another $300. And I'm looking at $5 for the whole mess. I just want it gone.
Yeah, I might be interested. I better not say anything to Clark. He'll definitely buy it from you. He has one, actually. He traded Mike a regular one for the one that he has now. And that's one of the few radios he uses, other than he's using a Collins S-line mostly. Yeah, I don't know. I just actually bought a new radio that I'm not really using, which is kind of funny, but I bought the new FT710.
Well, the 710, the one that is kind of a shack in the box, it's portable, it does everything, but only 10 watts.
No, that's a 705. The ICOM 705 does that. No, this is the answer to the 7300, basically. The FT710 Yaesu, it's, SDR, like a down conversion SDR. And it's, touchscreen, all that stuff, really, really good on receive. I mean, like, amazing, actually.
Oh, that's way cool. I'd like to buy a 9700, but I just don't have any, now that I'm retired, I don't have any extra income to spend on lots of radio gear. But the only thing I'm going to use this 746 for is right here on 2-meter sideband. And this thing will do what I want it to do. I'm running it through a little brick right now just to help it out. Running about 150.
Yeah, I've got a couple of these Mirage bricks. One is really, really old from Gilroy, California, and then one of them is like the newer, like MFJ acquired one with the, protection on it. So one's a brown one and one's a black one. I think one's called the 1060 and the other one is a 3060. So one's 30 watts drive and one's 10. And I used to use those, but I figure, well, why bother? I mean, 60 more watts, big deal.
Well, I'm curious to see what I can do here in Pine. My problem is HF is fantastic. But when it comes to 2-meter sideband, I'm at 5,500 feet elevation. And I'm looking at Strawberry Mountain, which is 2.5 miles away to my west. And I look to my northeast just a little bit, and I'm looking at the rim, which is only 2.5 miles away, and it's over 7,000 feet high. But in California is covered with mountains too. And I had kind of a poor spot, and I could actually bounce my signal off of different mountains and hillsides, and we talked some incredible distances. Mike, I'm trying to think of his call sign. Evades me now. Mike has the M2 company there in Fresno, and he calls the boson in every Wednesday night out of Fresno. And where I was at in Southern Cal, we talk back and forth every Wednesday night.
Yeah, I'm about 5,100 feet over here, and I've got Mingus Mountain right next to me, and then all the other stuff kind of around here. It seems like it doesn't really make a difference, actually, but depending on the bands and stuff. But if I get up a little higher than where I'm at here, I can actually talk into Phoenix on FM Simplex.
Well, actually, whereabouts are you?
I'm in Prescott Valley, right in town, right basically in between the police station and the fire station, more or less.
Well, my son lives in Prescott Valley on North Lynx Lake, I think is what it is.
That sounds like Prescott, though. I'm off of Lakeshore Drive, on Gregg Drive, in between Yavapai. So the fire station's on Yavapai. You go up like literally 4 blocks, and I'm right there. And then Lakeshore is pretty much like another 2 blocks.
Well, he's not far off of the highway. I mean, he's right there in Prescott Valley. I grew up in the business when I retired, I gave the business to my son, and we're clockmakers, and he opened a clock shop there in Prescott Valley. We were in Southern Cal, and he had to get out of there just like I did. Southern Cal is just the armpit of the earth, California, and he's doing real well there. He's right on the frontage road. See, right next to him, there's the clock shop, there's a barber shop, and then there's a gun shop.
Yeah, okay, I know where that's at. All right, yeah. I used to work at the Southwest Auto Clinic right there on the corner near the funeral place. And there's like a gas station there, and the gun shop is like just a few down from there, and then you have like the donut place, I think.
Well, I've got to get out of here. I've got some stuff I need to get done today, and it's after 1 o'clock already. If you're interested in that FT2000, I'll give you my phone number.
Yeah, let me find that piece of paper here. Yeah, I'll have to talk it over with Clark and see what he thinks, because ultimately I'll probably have to make him fix it. Okay, I got a pen. And that one is not working, this one is. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, my name is Jim. The call is KE6KNY, Kilo Echo 6, Kilo November Yankee. And the phone number is area code 951-692-6390.
Okay, I'll send you a text from a 928 number. My name is Bram, like I said earlier, and it's Kilo Golf 7 Hotel Victor Romeo.
Well, if you tell Clark that I'm Ted's friend from Hemet, California, he'll know who I am.
Well, get on the 3853 tonight at like about 7 o'clock. I will make sure I'm on there, and I'll send Clark a text message and let him know that you'll be getting on there, and we can all talk on there and have fun.
Well, tonight, Monday night, traditionally I talk to my buddy Terry, who lives in Payson, on 2-meter sideband, and then we try to hook up with Gene over there in Chino Valley on 2-meter sideband. So tonight I probably wouldn't be on 75 meters, but I can be there tomorrow night, let's say 7:30.
Yeah, that's no problem. Are you guys going to be on this frequency on 2-meter sideband tonight?
Roger.
Okay, I'm going to listen. I didn't know anybody was out in Chino, but I'm sure he'll hear me.
Well, I just basically got this radio running a couple days ago, and it was Wednesday or Thursday of last week I got the antenna up. Before that I was trying to talk to Gene, but just couldn't quite make it. But I'm sure I can do it. If I'm talking to you, I can talk to him.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. And it's a complete flat, straight shot from here to Chino, so there's nothing in the way.
Well, I'll be running the horizontal too, that 17 element instead of this vertical. The vertical is just parked on top of my roof. I mean, there's no elevation to it at all.
Yeah, mine's up about 25 feet, and so it's not up real high. So, yeah, I mean, you'll probably be blasting in here, especially if I could get my beam up there horizontally. Well, anyway, we'll catch up with you later. I'll send you a text here in a second. That way you know the number, and I'll catch up with you for sure soon.
All righty, sounds like a deal. Good talking to you. Maybe I'll hear you tonight on 2-meter sideband about 7 or so. KE6KNY, it's been a pleasure. See ya.
All right, KG7HVR. I'm gonna go QRT. Catch you later, Jim.